Hi, it's Kelly Thorngore. I am a life and a business coach, super passionate about helping you live a life you love and really create a life you love. We have been going through Draw the Circle. It's a 40-day prayer challenge. And today we are on day 18. So if you're joining me live, let me know where you are watching from today. Also, if you're watching the recording, let me know as well. I would love to know where you are joining from and what you're loving about this study, because we have new people joining us at all times, which is awesome. And so let them know what you are enjoying about this, and would it be worth it for them to start back at day one and go through all of it. So let me know in the comments. All right, let's dig in. So day 18, we're day 19. Day 19, I think I said 18. Hopefully I put the right caption with this one. All right, so this one's memorial offerings, and there's so many good nuggets in it, like every day. But he opens with this story talking about his grandfather saying prayers, and he would take out his hearing aids and he would pray and the whole house would hear. And he talked about how he believes that even though his grandfather has passed, that God is still answering those prayers. And I shared with you before, I know that my great-grandmother very much prayed for her family and generations. And there are times where I get these nudges where I just know that God is answering a prayer that she prayed, even though I've never met her, never had the chance to meet her. And yet I believe her prayers are living on in my life. And so that should give us some anticipation, some excitement, because that means that our prayers live on far beyond us. I love a couple of these nuggets. So if you're following along from the book, day 19, page 108, says our prayers never die. Our prayers never die. When we pray, our prayers exit our 4 dimensions of space-time. Our prayers have no space or time limitations because the God who answers them exists outside of the 4 dimensions he created. You never know when his timeless answer will re-enter the atmosphere of our lives. And that should fill us with holy anticipation. Never underestimate his ability to answer anytime, any place, anyhow. He has infinite answers to our infinite prayers. He can answer them more than once, and he answers them forever. And so there's something about this that it does create that holy anticipation that our prayers are so much bigger than us. They're so much bigger than what we're saying. And I love the illustration he used, that as if we are collecting our children's artwork and we're loving them and we're poring over them, God does the same with our prayers. And that is powerful. And that it's not just the prayers that I'm praying today that God's going to hear. It's that they're archived. Like they are together. And at some point, God's going to answer. And he's always going to answer. It might not look the way we thought it would look. It might not be in the time frame we thought it would look. But he's answering those prayers. Okay, so the story he shares about his friend who is the pastor, I want to camp out there for a minute. So he talked about how this person's grandmother, I believe, grandmother had 12 children, and she would pray 3 times a day. And her prominent prayer was for the salvation of her children. And I believe she had 12 kids. And 12 kids. So at the point that she's praying, 6 of her kids know Jesus, and 6 of her kids don't yet know Jesus. And so she's praying, and she's passed many years before, 15 years prior to this. And 15 years later, after she's already passed, but she's had these archived of prayers of believing and praying for the salvation of her children. This is powerful. So listen in. It says, my grandmother's oldest son is named Johnny. A month ago, his next door neighbor had a dream in the middle of the night about Johnny. The neighbor felt compelled to invite him to church, and he accepted the invitation that Sunday, which happened to be Palm Sunday. When he walked into the church, all he could hear was his mother's voice calling out his name in prayer. He'd heard her pray. He'd heard her pray all those years for him. The pastor asked if anybody wanted to put their faith in Jesus, and Johnny raised his 92-year-old hand. He got baptized the next weekend on Easter Sunday. Okay, like how amazing is God that he would take the prayers of this mother, and years later, that God would have a neighbor to dream about this man and invite him to church. And at 92 years old, this man would give his life to Jesus. Oh my, like let that just sit with you for a moment, because our God is so powerful and he can work at any moment in your life, but also generations from now. And so there's something about today's devotional that just gives me an anticipation and also like recognizing what a responsibility it is to pray. And to pray knowing that like it's not just about what I pray for today, it's that it's going to have this legacy impact in the lives of so many people. Dawn said, I love it. Our prayers don't fall on deaf ears. Humbling to me is I don't always listen or remember. Yeah, Dawn. It's comforting that we have a God who is perfect in everything, listening and remembering. Yeah, that's so good. Tanya, I love that your grandmother had 13 children. Okay, couple things. He said she didn't get to see the answer to her prayers, this grandmother or this mother, on this side of heaven. But she's going to see the answer. She saw the answer, or at least she's going to see the answer when her son greets her in heaven. Okay, listen to this. He says, we never know when our prayers will be answered. We never know. And we never know when we are the answer to someone else's prayer. When God puts someone on your heart, when he nudges you to reach out to someone or to do something, that may just be God using you as an instrument to be the answer to someone else's prayer. And we've got to be obedient in that. We've got to listen and obey, listen and do it. When we live by faith, we will harvest prayer seeds that have been planted for decades, for centuries, for millennia. When we live by faith, those memorial offerings turn into crowns of glory. Prayer offerings turn into praise offerings. I love that imagery of thinking of our prayers as planting seeds that they are going to harvest. Yeah, Tanya, I love that. I definitely want to break the generational curses. Yeah, the generational bondage that holds us back. And I believe, Tanya, knowing you, like you are going to do that. And God's going to use you as the catalyst for that in your family. All right, this one's powerful. I think it gives this weight to our prayers that they're really important. They're not just something that we say. There's some fervency that has to be behind them because they're planting seeds that will reap a harvest in God's perfect timing. And we have an opportunity to make a difference with our prayers. So I hope you have a wonderful Saturday. I will see you tomorrow morning.